Why, hello, Tube. Today we have the Where Are You From tag, originally done by Patrick's Book Review. So go check him out if you haven't already. Oh, he's much bigger than me, so you probably know him already. But he's got a little 5 question tag here about, basically where you're from. So I thought that'd be kind of fun. Um, where were you born and what was it? What was your town like? So I was born in Galesburg, Illinois, and my town was a is a that town is sad. It's, I don't know, maybe 25,000 people, no jobs, unless you want to work for fast food restaurants and things like that. Yeah, it's your typical kind of Midwestern kind of Rust Belty sort of town where all the manufacturing is either left or slowly leaving. It basically wants to be little Chicago is what they really want to be. They want to be right up, like they sink so much money into trying to get people to come visit the town, but the problem is there's nothing to do in the town. Nothing unless you like railroads. It's big for railroad people. It's got like one of the largest rail yards in the world. At least it did at one point. I'm not sure if that's still the case or not. Um, big Burlington Northern thing. I think there's a railroad museum and stuff like that. But other than that, they're not. But the town I live in now has a maybe I shouldn't go there. Maybe because it might be coming up. Where do you live now, and what is it like? So I live in a little town called Monmouth, Illinois. Um, it's pretty much right next door to Galesburg, Illinois, like I mentioned, and it's a little college town. We have an expensive liberal arts college, but it's quiet and there's nothing here. We have $3 generals and a Dollar Tree, but we don't have a Walmart or a Target or anything that's actually useful. We're all gas stations. There's a um we I, the town has where US 34 and US 67 meets. So we do have like a fancy Love's truck stop and a big Casey's and a big Beck's and things like that. That, I mean, is not all that interesting or anything. But we do have an interesting person from here, and that's Wyatt Earp. This is Wyatt Earp's birthplace. And I think, don't don't get me don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure you can Airbnb his old family house. I think that's a thing. You could drive right past it and never know. I think there's like a little sign in the yard, maybe. I honestly don't even know. I've driven past it a couple times on accident, but, but I've never actually. I don't think they do tours or anything. I don't think there's anything special there. But yeah, we're Wyatt Earp's birthplace was kind of. Oh, and also, um, I forget if he was born here. I know he did live here. He might have been born in Kirkwood. But Richard Speck, the mass murderer, he's from Monmouth, or at least the Monmouth vicinity. He They think that he did kill a person in town before jumping ship, and basically, I think he got ran out of Monmouth and ended up in what was it, Chicago, that he did the mass murder. I don't remember where he did the mass murders, but they were nursing students, right? But yeah, we're known for that too, I guess. Um, that's all I can think of. I don't think we have like any presidents or anything. I keep wanting to jump ahead, I think, so I need to just answer and move on. Have you lived anywhere else? Yes, I have lived in Green Bay, Wisconsin, which I love. I was so stupid to come back here. I should have just made it work up there because Green Bay. I mean, if you've never been there, of course, there's the Green Bay Packers. It's like the smallest town ever with a major uh, sports franchise, right? The town's like 100,000 people. I guess the area is probably. I mean, we were up there a couple years ago, and it changed so much since I was there in like early 2000. I've been like 2005, 2006 time frame. It's changed so much, but I bet you it's still only like maybe 300,000 people, that whole metro area. But it's very much it's a bigger town with a small town feel. Like at least when I was there, the town was dead after 10 o'clock. Like besides the bars are always hopping because it's Wisconsin. Um, but it was very quiet. And the funny thing is that I lived in an apartment on Mason Street, and I didn't know the place. Like I didn't know anything about Green Bay when I went up there. I basically went up there for work, and of course, everyone's like, "Where do you live? Where do you live?" And I told them where I live, and they're like, "That's the hood." Now, besides there was a couple stabbings in the building behind me, like it was never like nobody ever bothered us. It was I had a roommate and then eventually my ex-wife. But yeah, I mean, but I guess it was a pretty rough area. But like, it was nothing like where I came from. Like, I don't know. Um, I never felt like I was in danger or anything. But I also um I lived in Ontario for about a year. It's a long story I won't get into. I try to block off that era of my life, but I did end up in Ontario for a year, kind of halfway between Toronto and Kingston, right on the lake. It was a nice area. Canada is like so expensive. Everything is so expensive in Canada. It's crazy. Didn't I enjoyed if it was under different circumstances that I was there, I would have loved Ontario. But it was yeah. Um Number 4. Who are some famous authors of works of literature from your home? Well, no one lives in my home that is a famous author. I am definitely not, although I did write plenty of papers for school. Um, I know I'm being obtuse there. So in Galesburg, Illinois, is the birthplace of Carl Sandburg, which I assume he's well known, but maybe not anymore. He might be one of those forgotten authors, and just because I'm in the Galesburg area, I just get reminded about him constantly. But he's probably best known for he had like a big Abraham Lincoln sort of nonfiction set. I think it was like 3, 4, 5 books, and he was a poet. He wrote a lot of poetry. I think it was. I don't know. I honestly, it's been so long since I've read anything. I tried to look. I know I have his complete poetry book, the big fat thing. I tried looking for it. I don't know. I must have got rid of it at some point. Maybe I just like I'm never going to get to this and just uh, and unloaded it. I don't remember, but at one point I know I had his big honkin' poetry collection. I don't know why I would have gotten rid of it though. It's something I could have just sat on the shelf and wasn't hurting anybody. Maybe I'll pick it up again if I ever see it out in the wild. But yeah, so Carl Sandburg. And other than that, I honestly don't. I don't know. I can't think of anyone. We're much more well known in this area for John Deere and Isabel Bloom and other people than literature. At least that I know. Jim Tomey. Jim Tomey is was that was he a first baseman for the Indians and stuff. Yeah. So uh yeah. And number 5, what's the book culture like where you live? Libraries, bookstores, etc. I mean, every town pretty much has a library. We have a little library in town. I don't really ever use it. They do a book sale a couple times a year, and usually I'll just, whether or not I get anything, I usually give them 20, 40, whatever dollars I can afford at the time. Um, I should probably utilize them a lot more, especially since I just don't have room for a lot of books. It'd be a good way of, um, just seeing if I want like a book and want to get it, and instead of doing it the other way around where I get and don't end up reading it or whatever. But um, I'm surrounded by bookstores. Half an hour or so north of me is the Quad Cities areas like Davenport, Moline, Rock Island, Bettendorf. That's where John Deere is, and Alcoa and things like that. And there's a bunch of bookstores up there. One Source bookstore, I really like it. It's a pretty big used bookstore, just full of good. It's like 2 stories. They have like the main floor and the basement. I like it a lot. And then there's a BAM up there and a Barnes and Noble, and then there's like a book coffee shop thing where you can, I think it's like $1. It's like a book swap. I think I've only been there a couple of times. I haven't gotten anything from, but I think you like pay $1 and swap a book and, buy a $10 coffee and things. I'm sure there's more up there I'm just not aware of. And then if you go like just like to Galesburg, right next to me to the east, there's a indie bookstore there that it's nice, but again, I do try to buy something there every once in a great while just because it's nice to have a bookstore nearby. But when you can either spend $30 for a book there or $15 for the same thing on Amazon, it's really hard to do a lot of shopping there. I'm not a rich man, so I kind of have to be a little bit more frugal in my spending. I can't necessarily just support people just for the sake of supporting them. But then if you go farther east, you get to Peoria. There's a couple of good bookstores there. There's a Barnes and Noble. There's also like a Book Rack and it's called the book something. It doesn't matter. You'll probably never ever go to it. But there's a pretty big used bookstore that's really usually I'm usually able to find a few things there. South of me, there's a big used bookstore that I used to like until I realized that they are ripping off the people who are bringing in. They're basically getting their inventory for free. Like they've got this weird convoluted trade-in system that I was actually able to follow, and essentially you're giving them your books and you're getting nothing in return, and their prices aren't even that good to begin with. So yeah, it's a wonder that they stay in business. Well, they must stay in business because people just don't have the energy or time to dissect their trade-in system. But and then to the west of me, there is in Burlington, Iowa. There's a little independent bookstore that if I'm in the neighborhood, I might poke my head in, but I don't think I've ever bought anything there. It's not very big, and they just don't really carry much in the way of. They actually have like a lot of kids and YA stuff, and just a little bit of stuff for us adults. But yeah. I would like to now down in the Decatur area. There's a place I think it's called the Book Barn. I think everyone has a Book Barn nearby them. Well, Decatur is probably at least 2.5 hours away, if not farther. But it's in Forsyth, just north of Decatur. But there's the Book Barn. It's like, I don't know, like 30,000 square foot barn that I guess just is packed full of books. And I'd like to go down there sometime. I don't know what else we would do down there, because it's Decatur. It's kind of like the one of the many armpits of Illinois. Actually, Illinois is pretty much just one giant armpit, so I can't really, yeah, I can't really look down upon Decatur. Really, I guess that's not fair because the whole state's excuse my language, the whole state is a shithole. But anyway, that's it. I better stop before it gets dark. Like, not like dark outside, but like me talking about Illinois gets dark. I hate Illinois so much. I shouldn't. Every time I've escaped, I'm like, I'm never going back, and then I end up right back. Like it sucks you back in. It's like a black hole. You think you're getting out of it, and then it just sucks you right back in. But once the kids get older and move out and do start their own lives and have their own families, and I'll have a lot more options to get the heck out yet again, and hopefully can make that happen. But until then, it's home. So I think I made this tag way longer than it needed to be, but that's it for this one, peeps. Let me know down below if you're a booktuber. I won't tag anyone. I'm not sure who's done it or not. This is kind of an older tag, February. So, if you haven't done it and you want to do it by all means. And if you don't want to don't do it. And if you don't make if you're just a viewer or a lurker and don't make BookTube videos, you can leave your answers down below if you'd like. If you'd like to share any of this, you don't have to dox yourself like I did. Thing is, though, is that if somebody wants to find you, they're going to find you. Whether or not I tell them, if someone wants to find me, they're going to find me whether I tell them that I live in Monmouth, Illinois, or I don't. They're going to figure it out. They can figure it out quite easily. I'm just basically making them skip 5 minutes worth of work. So, yeah. So that's it for this one, peeps. Cheers.